Hello again. I can imagine no better use for the empty plinth in London's Trafalgar Square than for a statue of the late Queen to be erected there. She was the longest reigning monarch in British history and was universally loved. And there has been talk of putting a statue to her in Trafalgar Square. I can think of no better use for that so-called fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square. Instead, in the near future, an utterly grotesque assembly of models of the faces of 850 transsexuals, most of them prostitutes, will be erected on the empty plinth. This bizarre construction may be seen in the thumbnail to this video, and the sculpture will include parts of the skin and hair of these people. Yuck. I wonder how many ordinary Londoners would, if given the choice, prefer that to a statue of Queen Elizabeth. Why are so many of these transsexuals prostitutes, you ask? Thereby hangs the tale, which also explains one of the key planks in the trans ideology, which is, of course, that transsexuals are victimised by society, beaten up, robbed, and even killed. You'll often hear about this, how transphobia results in the death of transsexuals. It's a very cunning claim, and the reason is this. Because the cosmetic treatment which most male to female transsexuals want is so expensive, they can't get it on the national health. There's the electrolysis to get rid of facial hair, the boob jobs, nose jobs, hair transplants, and all the rest of it. So nothing of extensive wardrobes of very female-looking clothes. Many of them go on the game, sometimes part-time. Prostitution will make you extra money fairly quickly, but it's a very high-risk occupation at the best of times, and doubly so for transsexual men who are posing as women. Women often get knocked about and abused when they work as prostitutes, and sometimes, of course, they're murdered. For a man who is posing as a woman, the risks are far greater. Some punters take it very much amiss if they find out that the person who has just given them oral sex is actually another guy. It is this which accounts in the main for the very high number of male to female transsexuals who end up being attacked or killed. Most people walking down the street don't care at all if a man wishes to pose as a woman. I certainly don't. But some feel very ticked off if they are, as they see it, tricked into sexual activity with a man. I would imagine that it's something which is likely to generate violence. Ultimately, it's the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan's decision as to what happens with that empty plinth at Trafalgar Square. And he's dead set against having any sort of permanent statue there until 2030 at the earliest, another 6 years. I wonder, as a matter of interest, how many people watching this would rather see a montage of 850 transsexuals, most of them prostitutes, on the plinth in Trafalgar Square? And how many of you would rather see a statue of the late Queen? I know which I would rather see.